Welcome everyone to the member breakout session. I am very excited to be here with everyone today, so thanks for joining. And I'm also very excited to share why your CAT pension is a big deal. So what we're going to do today, we're going to explore why our CAT plan members can be proud and confident about their pension plan. So my name is Steve Hyland. I'm the team lead of pension education here at CAT. My role is to provide learning sessions for members of the plan to help everyone learn more about retirement and, of course, their defined benefit pension. So my hope after today's breakout session is that you'll have a great understanding of the value of your pension plan. Also, and most importantly, we're going to discuss how you can be a part of CAT's mission of providing a stable and secure pension for all Canadians. So let's get started. So this is our session overview. Part one is Meet CAT. So this is all about your powerhouse pension. Your pension is really a big deal, and we're so excited to show you why. So we're going to cover the basics of your pension, the basics of defined benefit pension plans, and we're going to talk about some very exciting upcoming changes that you do need to know about. Part two covers how you fit in. So you'll learn how CAT supports you throughout your various life stages. We are always innovating to make understanding your pension easier. So in this section, we're going to review how you can connect with us to make the most out of your pension. We're going to show you how we support you through your life stages, and how you can help other Canadians as we work towards promoting that secure retirement for all. And part three, this is the Q&A. So here we're going to answer your questions. Our pension experts are here and ready to help. Now, I just want to mention that if for some reason we cannot get to every single question today, we're going to send out all of the answers within the next 24 hours. We want to make sure that you get all the information that you need. All right, so let's meet CAT. So again, in this first section here, we want to talk about the fact that your pension is a big deal. We're going to introduce you to defined benefit or DB pension plans. We'll describe what they are, and why it's important. Now, we also have some fantastic news. We're going to tell you how CAT's recent plan changes make your pension even stronger. Yes, the plan is already very strong, but these upcoming changes and new provisions help ensure benefit security for all of our members, and they will increase that pension value. Now, what also should be lots of fun today is that we do have some real member stories that are sprinkled in throughout the session. So you're going to hear real ways that members' lives have changed. And you're going to hear how modern pension plans are shaping the future lives of Canadians. So we are bringing pensions back. We're bringing defined benefit pensions back to more employers and more employees across Canada. All right, so first things first, what is a DB pension? So you belong to what's called a defined benefit pension plan. So again, I'm sorry, we love acronyms in the pension world, but DB stands for defined benefit, if you haven't figured that out already. And this really means that your pension at retirement is truly defined because it is set by a pension formula. So your pension is predictable. Now, the way I like to describe DB pensions when I talk to our members is I always tell them it's like a pension promise, because at the end of the day, it's a reliable, consistent source of income that's going to be waiting for you at retirement. So when you eventually make that decision to retire, what happens is you're going to get money every single month deposited into your account. So it's like a paycheck in retirement. And it doesn't matter how long you live, your CAT pension will be waiting for you. Okay, and that's even if you live well into your hundreds, we'll be happy to send you that pension check, so to speak, each and every month. All right, fun fact, our oldest member in the plan is 103 years old, and they've been collecting for quite some time. Having a pension for life gives our members peace of mind, especially in a volatile market. And there's a lot more value with a defined benefit pension plan, especially when comparing to other pension plans or even other types of retirement savings vehicles. So we asked plan member Sharon, who's a senior manager at Centennial Colleges, we asked her if the CAT plan were an animal, which one would it be? So let's hear what Sharon had to say.
If the CAT pension plan was an animal, it would be an elephant because it's big. It's one of the largest plans in Canada, and it's long lasting the way you need it to be. and elephants live long lives, the way we all wish we could. Finally, it's strong, growing every day, and we all know the strength elephants are capable of.
So I heard things like strong, large, and I heard that elephants live long lives, which is true, by the way. So I love this analogy. It actually resonates with me because I know that CAT is also large. We're one of the fastest growing plans in Canada. We're strong because we're secure, and our pensions are long lasting because we provide pensions for life. So your CAT pension is incredibly valuable. We like to call it the CAT Advantage because CAT is an MVP, which stands for Most Valuable Plan. So let's take a look and see how it compares to other plans. The value of your DB pension is clear. CAT's plan can provide twice as much income in retirement compared to group RRSPs or even defined contribution or DC pension plans. So these numbers here are based on one of our favorite studies titled The Value of a Good Pension. And it reported that the expected payout for each dollar contributed is much higher with a modern defined benefit plan compared to, again, group RRSPs or even large DCs. So in a nutshell, you get more for every dollar you contribute with a defined benefit pension plan like CAT. Now, if you take a closer look at the screen here, you can see that for every dollar contributed, the expected payout is $5.32. So that's 2 times as much from the other plans. And of course, that is without the stress, without the risk, or even the cost to the members. And the reason why this is also because defined benefit plans, what they do is they can pool their investments, and that helps them to manage that risk effectively. So better benefit outcomes for you, meaning you get the best payout per contribution dollar with CAT. So what is CAT's promise to you? Well, since you enrolled, you have lifetime retirement income that you can count on. And the retirement income that you earn is both secure and predictable. So you've got something that's very exciting. Your contributions and your employer's contributions that you're putting in with each pay, they get invested, managed, and even protected by some of the best professionals in the industry. Your pension is secure even when markets fluctuate, which means the amount that you get at retirement, it's not affected by market ups or downs. You will know how much your pension will be before you retire or before you get there. And that way you can feel confident about your retirement savings. Now also, we've got your spouse covered. So CAT provides a lifetime pension to your surviving spouse. This is a very valuable feature, and it means security for both you and your loved ones. Your plan is one Canadians want. We're welcoming new members and employers from across the country, from employers across all sizes, all sectors, and even all industries. And if you need more proof that your pension is a game changer, one thing we know is that Canadians, and especially our members, are living longer and longer these days. So on average, our members live into their 90s. And we have many retired members over the age of 100. So knowing your pension will go on for as long as you live is really important. With a CAT pension, you decide when you want to retire, so you have flexible options. Now you also have conditional benefits. So I call these extras. And this is another reason why your DB pension is so desirable. So for example, inflation protection. Inflation protection helps offset that negative impact of inflation in the economy. And your pension will wait for you even if you leave your job. So you can choose to defer your pension and start your pension when you're ready to retire. And for those of you that may not know, deferring your pension, it's kind of like parking your pension here at CAT, maybe while you go off and do something else. And then later on, when you're ready to draw on it, you simply give CAT a call. Maybe that's at age 65, and then you can start your pension. And also, fun fact here, while it's sitting here with CAT, your benefit's going to grow with that conditional inflation protection. So ultimately, you have freedom, security, and peace of mind in retirement. All right, now we want to hear from you. So we want to hear what you think. So it's time for a quick poll. And you should see the poll on the right-hand side of your screen. So please go ahead and submit your answer. Now, I have a long way before I can retire, but I am curious about you. So knowing that your CAT pension is paid for life, what are you most looking forward to in retirement? So you have a couple of options here. So what are you going to do with your reliable, secure retirement income that's paid for life? You can see the options. You've got travel the world, spending time with family and friends. So that's quality time with loved ones. Focus on or perfect your hobbies, or maybe you want to try some new things or learn something new. All right, I can see here that we've got a mixed bag of responses coming in. So I'm going to leave this up for a few more seconds here while people pick their choice. Okay, I think now's a good time to share the results. All right, perfect. So we can see here that we've got, like I said, a very, very mixed bag. 42.1% said spending quality time with loved ones. We've got traveling the world at 37. Oh, it's going to 36, 37. So about 37% there for traveling the world. Perfecting hobbies is around 10%, and learning something new about 9 or 10%. So quality time with loved ones, that's our highest right now, and that's fantastic. You know, I'm also interested in that as well as traveling, but to be honest, if it were me, I'd be picking all of these answers, all of the above. So I know that's not an option, but I truly like all of these. I want to do it all when I retire. Now, we also asked these two members and plan ambassadors what they're planning to do in retirement. So here again, we have Sharon from Centennial, and now we have Tom from Community Living Toronto. So let's hear what they had to say, and we're going to start with Sharon.
I'm a gardener, so when I retire, I'm going to get out in my backyard and get my hands in the dirt. That's my happy place. And although I plan to travel and maybe take up some new hobbies, gardening is the thing I'm going to do first.
All right, let's hear from Tom.
Hi, my name is Tom Gaspar, and I'm a senior facilitator with Community Living Toronto. I can't imagine retirement at this point, as I truly enjoy the work that I do and the experiences it provides me. But with that being said, I hope to re-engage with my interest in music. Before starting a family and focusing on my career, I played the drums in multiple bands in my teen years and 20s. I would love to get back into playing music and attending concerts more frequently. Playing music is such a great way to express oneself artistically, and it's such a wonderful group activity. Just hope I still have my hearing left once I retire. I'm only half kidding about this.
So we have a music lover, Tom, and then Sharon, of course, who loves gardening. So I love that. I'm always interested in what people love to do in their free time. All right, so we do have some big changes that are coming up. They're going to make your pension benefit even stronger. So we're always innovating to improve your pension for you. So whether that's how we support you through your life changes or how we protect and invest your savings, right down to the plan design itself. So we're excited to share that starting in 2025, you're going to get even more out of your pension. And this includes all active members, whether you belong to DB Prime or DB Plus. So you're either going to build the same great pension with lower contributions, or your pension's going to grow even faster while your contributions are going to stay the same. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of these changes. So if you're in DB Prime, your contribution rate will be going down by 1% starting January 1, 2025. So that means that, again, you build the same great pension, but with lower contributions. So your contribution rates, they're going to change. In 2025, you're going to contribute 10.2% on your earnings below the year's maximum pensionable earnings, or YMPE for short, and 13.8% on any earnings above the YMPE. Okay, but again, this is a 1% decrease to both member and employer contributions, so it's very exciting. And if you're in DB Plus, your DB Plus pension formula includes something called an annual pension factor, and that's used to calculate your pension. So for the pension that you earn after January 1, 2025, that annual pension factor is going to be 9.5% of both member and employer contributions. So that's an increase from the current annual pension factor of 8.5%. So this means that your pension will grow over 10% faster or quicker. Okay, and that's all the while your contributions stay the same. Okay. And what's more, conditional benefits. So conditional benefits like inflation protection have been granted through to 2026 for our pensioners. And that's because CAT remains in a strong position at 124% funded and has moved from funding level 4 into funding level 5 of the funding policy. and that was at the beginning of this year, January 1, 2023. So plan governors make decisions with our members' best interests in mind. And CAT's top priorities are two things. Number one, equity amongst our members, and two is benefit security. So when it comes to making changes like the ones that I just described, plan governors are tasked with making prudent long-term decisions. Most of all, it's important to remember that these plan changes mean that your pension plan is strong and secure. So when the plan does well, as it has been, plan governors can make these decisions to increase value for members. Simply put, when CAT does better, members do better too. And that's exactly what these changes are all about. And don't worry, we're going to remind everyone in 2024 before these changes come into effect. So you don't need to do anything. These changes are all automatic. So not only are we Canada's modern workplace pension plan, but we're on a mission. We believe that pensions are for everyone. And for years, pensions have been so out of reach to so many people, which has forced them to rely on their own savings. But we are bringing DB pensions back. So our unique DB Plus design is helping us close that pension gap across Canada. So it unites the best qualities of DB and DC pension plans, and of course, Group R RSPs. So with our innovative design, defined benefit pensions have become more accessible to employers and members alike. Why are we so committed to this mission? Well, pensions help communities thrive by increasing well-being, mental health, and volunteerism. DB pensions also support thousands of jobs across Canada. And what's more, when retired members feel financially secure, they contribute to the economy. So every dollar of retirement income puts $1.67 back into the economy. So expanding pensions to more Canadians is good for everyone, not just seniors. And not a lot of Canadians have a DB. Today, only about 11% of Canadians have a defined benefit pension. So having a DB pension is a big deal. And CAT is putting pensions on the map. So we're trying to give more people a pension. And as most of you know, the CAT plan started with 24 colleges. We have since opened our doors to new employers, and that was a few years back in 2019. And now we've grown to almost 300 employers, and we now have over 83,000 members in the plan. So these numbers continue to grow. And this means that more employees across Canada have the benefit of a strong and secure pension. All right, so how do you fit in? What pension services are most important to you? So we have a variety of innovative self-serve tools to help you better understand your pension and of course the benefits that it provides. We want you to take control and choose what you want to learn. So our experts and resources are here and available for when you need them. And keep in mind, we always aim to make it simple, easy, and of course fun. And speaking of fun, today we're going to reveal Pensionality. This is our new discovery tool that you can try out at home after this presentation. And finally, we're going to talk about our Grassroots Plan Ambassador program. We're going to talk about how you can join and why it's so meaningful. So at CAT, we make decisions with you in mind. So we want to make sure that you're getting the best value from your pension. And we do this by providing you with top pension offerings and services, including personalized assistance from our pension experts in our call center. So CAT offers a lot of learning resources, so you can get to know your pension. So here we want you to tell us which one of these that we're just going to put up on the screen here, which one of these have you never heard of before? So which ones do you not know about? We've got a bunch of options, and A is CAT's member blog, which is called Planner. It's a top resource for timely and useful pension information, so it lives on our website. B is My Pension Portal. All right, and that's where you can access your personal pension information and learn more about what you'll actually earn in retirement because it has your own pension estimator in there. C is live member education sessions. So maybe you're not familiar with these, but we offer these free of charge. And D is CAT's Facebook page. You can also follow us on Facebook for timely updates on services, announcements, and helpful pension information. All right, so everyone is filling in this poll right now. I'll just leave it up for a few more seconds. All right, I think now is a good time to share these results. Okay, this is great here. So I can see that not a lot of you are familiar with Kat's member blog called Planner. And this is a great resource. Like I said earlier, it lives on our website. You can get lots of useful pension information there, and it's specifically for retirement planning. So again, it's called Planner, and I see the numbers switching a lot actually right now at 20.9%, my pension portal. I keep switching with live member education sessions. And then a lot of people do know about our Facebook page, which is great. So thanks for your participation in that poll. I think we can close it now. All right, so let's listen to what Sharon had to say about how she learns about her pension.
Pensions can be complicated, but I'm learning about them in 3 ways. First, I'm reading about them in various places, but mostly on the Cat Pension website or through newsletters. I'm also attending Cat Pension planning seminars. And finally, I'm talking with my friends and coworkers who are planning to retire or have already retired.
That was great. So you can see that Sharon learns in a variety of different ways. And I've been in the pension business for many years now, and I can tell you from talking to our members that pensions can be complex. In fact, we know that they're complex and sometimes tricky to understand, but we are here to help. So our top priority is to be there for you when you need us, because everyone learns differently, everyone learns at their own pace, and everyone's situation is unique. So you get to choose how you want to connect with us. Now, as most of you know, we do have those easy access self-serve options. So we want to make it as easy for you as possible so that you can find the resources that suit your needs. Now, we also understand that your pension is just one part of your life and financial planning. So that's why our resources take that holistic approach. We have newsletters, our blogs, our social accounts. They're all there for you to help keep you informed on what's new and maybe relevant for your life. So for instance, our member blog, again, Planner, we just talked about that, explores related life topics like financial goals, taxes, for example, and even wellness in retirement. So what can you do? Well, our website is a great place to start. There you can read the member handbook. You can watch videos about specific services. So for example, you can view a service purchase video, or you can watch videos on planning for your retirement. But from there, you can also register for a learning session. So right now, we're just finishing up with our popular spring series, which is open to all of our members. You can register on your own time and learn about a variety of topics about retirement, or even DB Prime and DB Plus purchases, and of course, much, much more. Now, up next, you can activate your My Pension portal account. This is where you can see all of your important details about your pension, so you don't need to worry about holding on to paper documents. There's also secure messaging in there as well, where you can reach the CAT team, and also a quick pension estimator that's tailored to your pension details. Now, if you don't have access to your My Pension account yet, you can always do a pension estimate right on the website. So you just enter some basic information and you'll see your estimated lifetime pension. So through that estimator, you can model any retirement date or any age that you'd like. This is going to help you get a clearer picture of your future and, of course, all your retirement options. So in a recent member survey, we asked CAT members where they like to get their pension information. As a member, you get CAT's member newsletter straight to your inbox, as well as key updates when they happen. So you can see here that 41% of our members learn through email and newsletters. 43% through the online member portal. Again, that's called My Pension, but most do learn from the website. Okay, and that number there, you can see it's the highest at 58%. And just to reemphasize, activating your My Pension account is an important step that we encourage everyone to take. Your pension is a big asset, and on My Pension, you can see it grow each year, and you can also interact seamlessly with CAT. All right, so I'm very excited to unveil our newest resource for members. It's called Pensionality. This is a very fun tool, and it's a short quiz to help you better understand how your pension fits into your current life. It's going to point you to useful pension information based on your needs. So our quiz is kind of like a personality quiz for you and your pension. So it's really fun, and you can find out your own pensionality. So for example, are you an explorer? Maybe you're new to the workforce, starting your journey of saving for retirement. Or maybe you're a composer, almost at that workforce finish line and able to jump right into retirement. So give it a try. The link will be included in your resource hub after the conference. And next, we're going to look at how you can help other Canadians have that incredible investment in their futures by becoming a plan ambassador. In fact, our pensionality quiz was first tested by our plan ambassadors. So that's just one of the perks of joining this program. You can get to try things first. So the Plan Ambassador program is leading a big conversation across the country. It's driven by you, our members. So the momentum of CAT's message is impacting people across the country. As I mentioned earlier, the CAT plan is growing. We're adding new members and employers every day, every week, every year. Members know that their pensions are an essential part of retirement security, and our members want to spread the word. So they want to spread that awareness. And there's no bigger ambassador than our own CEO and plan manager, Derek Dobson. He believes in CAT's purpose to improve retirement security for all. He travels cross-country to promote this message and engage new employers so that more Canadians can have a pension plan. Now, when you become a plan ambassador, you're going to get tons of pension resources, and you're going to learn about retirement trends. You'll have access to exclusive webinars, content, maybe curated educational content, and you'll have tools to spread the word to your friends and family. Now, you'll also get a Pensions for Everyone t-shirt. You can see I am actually wearing mine here today. So all you need to do is scan the QR code there on the screen to sign up, and you'll receive your free Pensions for Everyone t-shirt. Or if it's easier, you can see the link is at the bottom of the webinar window. All right, so here's another member story, and we asked Tom why he's so passionate about pension plans.
I was thinking about pensions earlier, and pension plans are such a great way to provide a smooth transition towards retirement. One with skydiving, a pension plan is like having a backup parachute. It provides peace of mind before taking the jump into the next stage of life. I'm so grateful for having the opportunity and having a pension. Hopefully in the future, more Canadians will benefit from pensions as they truly believe that they should be for everyone. Thank you.
Wow, I love that. That's another great analogy with the parachute because it gives you that safe, that secure, that soft landing in retirement. Okay, so we are now in the home stretch. So we want to get to your questions. And by the way, I should say at this time, I would like to invite our special guests to turn on their cameras, please. And just, while they're doing that, I want to mention here that before I introduce everybody, we are committed to answering any extra questions that you might have. So if you think of something that you'd like to ask, you can just drop it in the chat, and we are going to get back to you within the next 24 hours. All right, so first off, welcome everyone. And as you can see, we have here with us today, we have Angela Goodchild, the Vice President of Service Delivery. We have Sunny Kindria, our Director of Client Services, and also Troy Whetstone, our Director of Member Services. So each of these panelists are top experts in the pension industry, and of course, the member experience at CAT. But before we get to your questions, I want to get to know our panelists a little bit better. So I have a question for each of you. So I'd like our panelists to tell us all, what's your favorite place in Canada to visit? Or the place in Canada that maybe you haven't visited, but would most like to visit. So let's start with Angela.
Oh, thanks, Steve. So before the pandemic, our family did 2 summer vacations. We went to Newfoundland, and then the following summer we went to Vancouver Island and saw both coasts of Canada. And it was fabulous. But the place that I haven't been yet is to go north. And so I'd love to go to the Arctic. I'd love to see some wildlife, maybe some polar bears, and I'd love to see the Northern Lights.
Oh, wow, that sounds fantastic. So I'm assuming you're not afraid of the cold, are you, Angela?
I'm not, Steve.
All right. Thank you for that. Let's go next to Sunny.
Thanks, Steve, and it's great to be here. And this is such a great question, and it's not as easy as you think it would be. because there's so many beautiful places across this country that I would love to see. But the one area that I've yet to explore is definitely on my radar is Northern Canada and visit those territories. I love nature, I love cultural history of Canada, and the opportunity to experience this firsthand would be amazing. And much like Angela, seeing the Northern Lights is also on my bucket list too, Steve.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Northern Lights either, so that's also on my bucket list as well. So thank you for that. Next, we're going to go over to Troy. What about you?
Thanks, Steve. Great question. I guess growing up in a small town near Georgian Bay, I always like to go back home. A trip that I enjoy doing is from Toronto to Tobermory, and then probably from Tobermory, catch the Chi-Chi-Mon to Manitoulin Island and hang around there for a little bit, and then catch the Chi-Chi-Mon back to Tobermory and come home.
Yeah, that's something else that I haven't done either, but I'd love to get up to Tobermory. So thank you for that, Troy. And thank you, everyone, by the way. That was great. And sorry, but I am going to chime in here, if you don't mind. My favorite place to visit in Canada, I have to say, is Montreal. I'm actually from there originally. I'm from a small town off the island, and I try and get back to see my family and friends at least twice a year. Okay, so now that I've gotten that out of the way, I want to kick off our Q&A. So I want to thank everyone for submitting your questions when you registered for this member breakout session. And we've got some questions, a lot of questions about retirement. So I want to look at these first. First, when does it make sense to retire early? So we have this question here, even though your pension may be reduced. So Sunny, can you help us out with this one, please?
Definitely. Such an interesting question, Steve. So early retirement is an option that's available for our members, and it's a very important one to understand. So first, let's look at the default retirement age. When you retire at age 65, your lifetime pension is unreduced, no matter how much or how little service you have. This is what we call normal retirement. If you retire before age 65, you'll be taking an early retirement and your pension may be reduced. So why would someone choose to retire early? Well, really, Steve, there's two key factors here. First, about 40% of Canadians say their main reason for retiring earlier is their health. Others say they retire early based on their lifestyle, whether they want to fulfill the desire to travel or even pursue new interests. Ultimately, choosing when to retire is a very, very personal decision, and your retirement income is one of those key factors that will help to influence that decision.
Thank you, Sunny. I appreciate that. Okay, here's another question on retirement. This is something we hear a lot from our members. The question is, how can you retire with the maximum pension? This one's for you, Troy, if you don't mind.
Well, thanks, Steve. And actually, you've touched on this during your previous presentation about using our pension estimator. If you have access to the portal, you can use the pension estimator to calculate your retirement income goal. You have the ability to try out different scenarios, such as retiring early, I think we all want to do that, at age 65, or retiring past age 65 while you're continuing to contribute to your pension. The benefit of doing this through the portal is that all your details are waiting for you there. You have the ability to message our pension experts to help you or to answer any of your questions. And of course, our member service helpline is always available.
Yeah, those are both great options, Troy. Members can definitely use that portal or the member services helpline to get that personalized information on what their pension could look like when they retire. All right, so some members are asking why they don't have access to CAT's portal. Again, which is called My Pension. Angela, can you help us understand this, please?
Yeah, Steve, I can. And the reasons why some members aren't able to access CAT's portal is because their employer joined CAT through a merger. And in this case, it means your pension is being managed by a trusted administration partner, and they're keeping your data secure. Currently, the member portal can't access this data yet. However, we are working on a long-term plan for this. Now, what's important to know is that when you use the pension estimator on our website, you can get a pension projection just like on the member portal. It's a great place to get a good understanding of your retirement income. When you use the estimator on the website and you can confirm your employer, you're going to get an accurate and personalized pension projection.
Thanks, Angela. And I've got another member question for you, if you don't mind. This one is about how members can grow their pension. So they want to know, are members able to contribute additional funds from their paychecks? Will this ever be an option?
Yeah, this is a great question, Steve, and it's one we think a lot about. This member wants to know, can they make additional lump sum payments in addition to their regular contributions? And we're always listening to our members and innovating solutions to help you meet your retirement goals. So stay tuned, because our CEO, Derek Dobson, is going to share some insights about how we're evolving to meet your retirement needs. And this is in his fireside chat that's right after this breakout session. And so be sure to join, because I know he's got some exciting news to share.
Yeah, I myself am looking very forward to it. Now, another subject that we are seeing in the chat here is about the plan changes, the upcoming plan changes. So here's someone asking about how the changes impact the plan's reserves. Angela, do you mind speaking to this?
Yes, Steve, I'm happy to. The first thing to remember is that the plan governor's focus is to keep pensions secure for the long term. Their goal is to make decisions that ensure a secure and stable future for our members. Now, over the years, CAT has been building a reserve of funds to keep the plan and your retirement income safe. Now, as we moved up the funding policy to level 5, the plan governors decided to use some of these reserves for plan changes that benefit our members. And we're only using a portion of these reserves for the plan changes. And we're still maintaining a funding ratio of 124%. Ultimately, these changes are good news for you and your retirement, and they mean that your pension plan is strong.
Thank you, Angela. And here's a related question, and one that I personally see quite often. This member asks, I know a lot of people who are retiring. Should I be worried about the pension plan lasting? Sunny, this one's for you.
I got this one, Stephen. I'm happy to say that the short answer to this is no. You don't need to worry about your pension being there for when you retire. So why is that? Because as Angela just mentioned, our pension plan is 124% funded. So this is really important, as for every $1 of pension benefits promised today and in the future, there's $1.24 set aside. So strong funding is one reason why you don't need to worry about your CAT pension being there for you. The other is CAT is growing, and growth means your pension is even more secure. As mentioned earlier, in the last 5 years, we've grown from 24 employers to over 300. We're now providing secure lifetime pensions to more than 86,000 members across Canada. We're represented in 10 provinces, 2 territories, and also have members from 15 different industries. As we continue to expand pension coverage and bring secure, reliable pensions to more and more Canadians.
Thanks for that, Sunny. We're always happy to hear about Canadians retiring. That's what we're here for. All right, so let's turn to indexation. So this is an important topic, and here is a question that, again, I hear this a lot when I'm doing our member learning sessions. The question is, are CAT pensions indexed with inflation? Sunny, do you mind taking this one too?
For sure. Thanks for that, Steve, because this is a great question and a very relevant question. So CAT pays what we call inflation protection increases. So this is based on 75% of the year-over-year change in the Consumer Price Index, otherwise known as CPI. And the amount you receive depends on when you earn your pension. So there's 2 key periods that I want to talk about. The first period, for any pension earned after 2007, inflation protection is conditional on plan funding. So that means whenever the plan can afford it, it's paid. And since conditional inflation protection was introduced, we've always granted this, as this is one of our plan governor's top priorities. The second period is any pension earned from 1992 to 2007. For this time, we guarantee inflation protection. These 2 periods had higher pension contributions to account for the future inflation protection increases. And finally, I would like to mention that when it comes to pre-1992 service, inflation protection was paid on what was called the ad hoc basis, but this stopped in 2014.
Thank you for that, and thank you for explaining that so well, by the way, Sunny. Now, on the topic of inflation, another member asks, why didn't my pension increase by the amount of inflation last year?
And another great question. We get this question a lot too, especially with what we're hearing amongst the media lately. So when you see inflation rates on the news, what's reported is a single point in time. It's usually a very high rate to get your attention. But CAT does things a bit differently. We calculate a rate based on an annual 12-month average. So this reflects the overall trend without that month-to-month volatility. And remember, CAT pays 75% of the year-over-year change. So CAT's 2023 inflation protection increase was 4.71%, which is 75% of our consumer price index. Our plan text defines how we calculate inflation protection increases, and our funding policy sets out how the governors grant those increases. All these decisions are made with the long-term sustainability of the plan in mind.
Thank you, Sunny. And I actually have a follow-up question here. Is there a plan to provide inflation protection increases to those pre-92 members? So they've been in the plan for a very long time. Angela, can you help us out with this one?
Yeah, Steve, this is a really important topic. And it's one fundamental question that we think about. Now, what you should know is that keeping your pension secure is our top priority. And to do that, the plan governors use something called the funding policy. One of our basic beliefs, which is reflected in the funding policy, is that there must be equity among members. And what this means is that no one group can subsidize another. Before 1992, contribution rates didn't consider inflation protection, and increases were not pre-funded. And that means that in order to pay them, the plan has to be in the top level of its funding policy. And that's where it has the option to make benefit improvements. We're in funding level 5 now, and when we get to level 6, then the plan governors can look at inflation protection for pre-92 members. So the good news is we are on the right track.
Thanks, Angela. It makes a lot of sense. Now, we do have a lot of questions about one of my favorite subjects, purchases. So the question is, how can I maximize my contributions and offset leaves or other absences? Troy, your team includes CAT's purchase experts. So can you tell us about how these work?
Thanks, Steve. Yes, you can offset leaves and other absences by making a purchase. You have a few different opportunities to make a purchase. One option is through an unpaid leave from your employer. This means you had a period of time that was covered by a pension plan, but it created a gap in your service. Think of a maternity leave. In this case, you can make a purchase from for the gap to top up your pension. Another option, you're in a different registered pension plan and you've decided to transfer that amount into the CAT pension plan. Or you work for a CAT employer, but you hadn't yet joined and you'd like to purchase that period. In all of these instances, you can make a purchase to increase your pension. Our website has a lot of information about purchases to help you through the process, and your employer probably can help you as well. As always, you can always reach out to one of the experts through secure messaging on the portal or by calling the member services helpline to help you.
Great. Thank you, Troy. It was very helpful. And we're also getting lots of questions about survivor benefits. So this is one of those valuable extras that CAT offers. And here's a good one. What happens if I die early in retirement? How much will my spouse and kids receive? Troy, can you help us answer this one too?
Yeah, I'm happy to answer it. There are great questions about survivors and the benefits. First of all, CAT offers a number of survivor benefit options at no extra cost to you. So let's review these 4 features. Basically, your CAT pension exists to pay a lifetime pension to you and to your spouse when you die. Here's the first feature that CAT offers. If you have an eligible spouse, you have an eligible spouse, and when you die, your spouse receives a lifetime survivor pension equal to 60% of your CAT pension you were getting on the day you died. And it includes inflation protection. But this brings us to a second feature of survivor benefits called post-retirement spouse.
Yes, Troy, if I may, this is the big one. And in most pension plans, if you don't have a spouse when you retire, or even if your spouse dies before you, there is no survivor pension.
Yeah, that's right, Steve. And at CAT, a new spouse after retirement will qualify for the survivor pension. And here's the third feature. It's something we call order of entitlement. No matter what, if you have an eligible spouse, then your survivor, if you have an eligible spouse, they get your survivor pension. Next in line is your eligible children. They would get a pension equal to 60% of the pension you were getting on the day that you die. If you have more than one child, then the pension is divided evenly amongst them. And finally, our fourth feature is called a pension guarantee. If you and your spouse die and the total survivor benefit payments equal less than 60% of your first monthly pension payment, then the remaining balance is paid out. This can go either to your beneficiaries or to your estate.
Thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. And on a related note, I'd like to add that CAT also offers a pre-retirement death benefit. So that means that if you were to pass away before you retire, then your eligible spouse or beneficiary has a few options to collect your pre-retirement death benefit. Now, if you would like to learn more about any of these options, our website is a great place to start. Okay. So again, Troy, thank you for explaining all of that. It really helps us understand the different ways that CAT supports our members and, of course, their loved ones in retirement.
Thank you, Steve.
So we are now nearing the end of our Q&A, and our next question is, will I get everything back that I paid into the plan?
So let me steal this one, actually. So the answer to that is yes, and much, much more. Your own contributions are paid back in the first 5 years of you being on retirement and receiving a pension payment. But your pension lasts as long as you live, plus as long as your spouse lives.
Thanks for that. And finally, we have had a few questions about benefits, meaning, for example, dental plans in retirement. So let's talk about that generally. Angela, can you help us out with this one, please?
Of course, Steve. Health benefits in retirement are really important, and we got a lot of questions from members as they start planning their retirement. Now, these benefits, such as medical and dental coverage, come from group benefit plans that are related to your employer. Group benefit plans are sponsored by your employer or in an association that's related to your employer. The CAT pension plan provides your retirement pension, but not these health benefits. Now, to understand your benefit options while you're working or when you retire, you should reach out to the benefits team at your employer. They'll be able to answer all your questions about group benefit options.
Thank you very, very much, Angela, for answering that one. And I see here we're at time. We're a few minutes over, actually, so we apologize for that. However, this concludes our question and answer period or panel. So I would personally like to thank all of our subject matter experts today. Angela, Sunny, Troy, thanks for being here. And I'd also like to thank everyone for joining us today during this member breakout session. So I hope you enjoyed it. But we do have a quick break coming up, so you can go stretch your legs, grab some water, grab some coffee, and then you're welcome to join us at 12:15 for our fireside chat with Derek Dobson. So I hope to see you there. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.